Okay, I'm very excited about this keynote and delighted that Prof. Huang, who's had to get up at the crack, I think around about 5 o'clock her time, to be here with us, albeit remotely, and to speak to us from her experience as probably one of the world's leading music and AI researchers. And Anna was a researcher at Magenta, in Google Brain, and then in Google DeepMind, where she worked on a number of really crucial, groundbreaking projects, notably the ML model CocoaNet that powered Google's first AI doodle, the Bach doodle, and that allowed users to produce versions of Bach melodies and generated 55 million melodies from around the world, and I think also pointed to that challenge that AI enables unbelievable proliferation of content. And she also created Music Transformer, a breakthrough in generating music with long-term structure, and the first adaptation of long-term structures, transformer architecture, to music. So she also was involved with a project that was very influential on AI and African music, and that was called the AI and Songwriters, which paired songwriters writing songs for Eurovision with AI engineers. And I urge you to look that up. It's a fascinating project that's been very, very well documented. And from 2024, Anna was recruited by MIT. She's now a professor in a faculty position. And true to the interdisciplinary nature of this kind of work, she's based in the Music and Theatre Arts Department, but also in the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science Department. And she's a key figure in a program that MIT have just launched in music and computational technology. So it's a great pleasure to welcome Prof. Anna Huang.
Hi, thank you, Christos, for the very kind introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm super honored to be here, and I really wish I could be there in person with all of you. It's fascinating hearing the panel for the last couple of minutes, and yeah, I'm really excited today to share, maybe in some ways, a personal journey. When I was, I guess, yeah, when I was a student, I was studying music composition, um, and um, and really kind of trying to explore what is the boundary of different ways to um, kind of creatively express the maybe the moments and the sometimes the angst that I was feeling, and this led me to thinking about computer music that allowed me to explore different kinds of sounds that would carry kind of these different kinds of energy and trajectory and timbre, and then going into algorithmic music, using computer code to think about different structures. So then I started doing a lot of computer science and started doing machine learning. Um, so today I'm going to share with you kind of my maybe 10-year journey of going from computer science and trying to go back to music and thinking about um, how how do we think about these new possibilities for musicians and AI when we're working on different kind of creative domains, different creative traditions? How do we find that resonance? So I'm going to do a quick sound check. Can everyone hear sound? Okay, yes, I got some confirmation. Um, Yeah, so this is Sandra and me, and some of you might have met Sandra, and I've been hearing from her a lot. She's been working with a lot of the teams here, um, and she's been telling me about your projects, and it's really fascinating. And I hope soon that I will also get to meet some of you. So this is actually us coming back from a conference that's thinking about, yeah, kind of AI and society and music and education. And we were heading back to Boston. And this is where we are in Boston. Uh, this picture you're seeing is after a group meeting, we had an artist visiting us, Jordan Rudess. He's very, very virtuosic. You're going to see some video from him. Really, he thinking about, oh, what if I can jam with uh, an agent that was trained on the ways I improvise? How could that allow me to improvise in different ways? Um, and over here, yeah, just wanted to show you, it's a really exciting time at MIT. We have this new music building that opened up last year. And so a lot of times we're rehearsing in that bottom row of rooms. Um, so we bring in musicians to work with our systems and to prototype. And last time, most recently, when we had a concert, it was in there. Yeah, so today I'll kind of go through this trajectory of going from to really bringing this into the concert hall. And this invites a really interesting shift in how we approach kind of problems in the space. When we're in the lab, when we're thinking, oh, we want to model all these kinds of structure, we're thinking about kind of generative AI or generative modeling. But when we think about working with musicians and how a lot of times creativity happens when musicians from different backgrounds come together and bounce ideas and jam. And that kind of interaction is something we want to try to think about when we're designing these systems and thinking about human AI co-creation. So I'm going to cover a couple of projects. So first, starting from some of the foundation kind of modeling that we were trying to get to fix and get them to listen to music a little bit more. And then I'll go through a couple of examples of working with musicians and seeing how they gravitate to different kinds of systems and how they incorporate that into their creative practice. And then I'll end with an example of one of my students is a vocalist in Indian classical music, and seeing how she's uh, coming up with new approaches to really capture the kinds of nuances in that tradition of improvisation. Okay, so this brings us back to about 2017 when the transformer was first invented. I kind of felt like it would be really great for music because in music we were building so much meaning through introducing ideas and then repeating them and then varying them to create an arc. And at the same time, yeah, we wanted to also think about we don't want the music to be very robotic. Musicians interpret this music in very expressive ways. Can we also capture that? So this actually took a year to really get it to work. Um, and and once we kind of saw it generating very interesting structure. So here I hand coded the the where the motifs are coming back, and then this is actually a visualization of opening up the black box and seeing, oh, why was it able to create the structure? Oh, because it's able to look back in these ways. So next, I'm going to show you a video that's kind of showing that process happen in real time. So as this transformer model is kind of every step of the way, kind of trying to think about, oh, what is the next note I'm going to play? How is it referencing back to what it played earlier? Okay. So, oop, okay. So what I wanted to say there is, yeah, so that was in some ways kind of a single player mode. Like the machine was creating the music themselves, um, and it was learning from other musicians, but after that process, it was doing its own thing. So it felt like, yeah, it felt like something was missing there. Yes, it created this interesting structure, but how is it useful for musicians? Um, uh, so, uh, so so last summer, kind of being back in a music department, what felt really natural is, okay, what if we work with all the music students who are around us? So in particular, we recruited three jazz musicians. Um, yeah, what if we worked with them for a summer? So we met every week. So every week we would first like eat pizza, and then yeah, we would work with the systems, kind of do like a hackathon, and then at the end we would do a little show and tell, and the musicians would show what they came up with. So we did this for 12 weeks. And so each of the musicians worked with a different system that I'm gonna kind of talk about. And at the end, we had this concert. And because of the pressure of the concert, and also knowing that, okay, this is not just about trying out the system like in like a user study, but instead, yeah, we're really trying to engage with it and think about compositionally. Okay, we're going to go through these different parts of a storytelling. How do you really work with the system to carry through all of these different moments? Um, yeah, the so for the first system we explored is, okay, what if we had a piano and we wanted to augment this instrument? Um, so yeah, and one time at a conference when people asked me what I did, they thought they were saying, "Oh, is it like you're trying to make a third robot arm to like play piano with you?" At the time, I didn't really connect with this idea. Um, but then I realized it was somebody working on prosthetics. So they really work with these, yeah, kind of bioelectronics that work very close to the human body. So yeah, if you're even trying to reach for a cup of coffee, that kind of human machine collaboration has to be very, very tight loop. Um, and yeah, so then started to think, yes, like when we are thinking about human AI collaboration, there's so much of it is also kind of this physical aspects. Like, so I'm not working on robotics yet, but what if I did? Yeah, we were thinking about a third robot arm. Where would you even put it? How would that shift your balance? How would that cause you to play differently? So actually, this project was started by Lancelot and Perry, and they worked with Jordan Rudess, which is an amazing keyboard musician, which you saw in the group picture that we saw earlier. Um, and so, yeah, they were thinking, okay, if we wanted the the machine to perform together with the musician, what is the relationship going to be? So musically, they were thinking, okay, like Jordan's gonna play a line, and then the Jambot could play along with the chords. So let's hear an example. This is Jordan jamming with the Jambot. So he's playing the lines, and then Jambot is chiming in with the chords. So let's hear it again. So you see him kind of like doing this gesture because yeah, everything's just coming out of the speakers, and he's kind of trying to think about this like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and forth. Yeah, so I'm gonna, and he's expecting the Jambot to come in because that's kind of how we design the interaction. So that was he found many ways to kind of do this coordination. Um, but with the students, we wanted to kind of try something a little different, which is, okay, what if you actually have a physical instrument playing the part that the Jambot is kind of chiming in. So you're physically kind of seeing it and hearing it and feeling it. And also, what if it was more kind of an open world exploration? It's like we don't know what's going to happen. We're like truly doing like free improv here. Of course, yeah, the model's has learned something about kind of jazz improvisation, so it knows some of the idiom and how to listen and respond. Um, but yeah, so this is actually the first encounter of the musician, the first time playing with this instrument. And you can see they're kind of, he's kind of fighting for space on the piano because a lot of times when we play in the middle of the keyboard. So you're going to see that. And this is Lancelot on the laptop, and then Matthew is our pianist. Yeah, the model didn't know about the pedaling yet. So him sitting there, yeah, he's just naturally using his foot to kind of like help sustain what the model is playing and shape it. Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of surprises. Yeah, he's trying to kind of figure out, okay, why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? And then after a couple of minutes, he found kind of one way to play with this Jambot. So this is yeah, one of the design sessions where we were working with Matthew. And so this is one way that Matthew kind of found some resonance with the system. And with other musicians, they took it in very, very different directions. So for example, Sebastian here, you're going to see a video of him as well. He's a guitar player, so he works with a lot of pedals. And so during the performance, he's like constantly switching. And so for him, he was like, okay, what if we could use some of these generative audio models to rewrite some of the things I'm playing as if it was like a guitar pedal, and I could bring it in and out. I could have multiple of these kind of sound processors that are kind of rewriting what I'm doing. What if I brought that in as yeah, as some of these, among other, some of these other pedals I would have, and then choreographed a performance. So I'll play you an excerpt from that. So here he has like 3 of these systems running, and the drum loop is one of them. Yeah, so the system is rewriting the drum loop, and then he's soloing on top of it, and then you're gonna hear him, and then he's gonna start recording himself into the loop. Yeah, so with the red light going, he's recording. So the system's processing that right now, and then later on you're going to see that loop back to him. So it actually came back in much kind of noisier ways, and so it caused him to need to kind of build the arc into a more intense section as well. I'm sorry, I'm cutting it there as it's building. Um, and yeah, so that was how a guitar player kind of related to some of these systems. And another example is yeah, what if we were trying to get machines to kind of learn about audio and music in ways that were a little bit more native. A lot of the models right now are designed for speech, and not really yet designed kind of natively for all the kinds of structures that happen in music, where a lot of different variations are happening at different time scales. So in signal processing, there's this kind of technique called Fourier transform. And how it works is it's decomposing a sound into these different frequencies. So then it becomes more legible what's happening in the sound. What if you're not just decomposing sound on this kind of like surface structure of waveforms, but what if that waveform was already encoded into a more latent structure that had more semantics in it, and then we try to like decompose it so the semantics it's learning is corresponds to these different kinds of musical events and structures that's happening. What could it do? So here I'm going to play you an example, also coming from the guitar. So imagine kind of a guitar player strumming, and it's keeping the frequencies of the rhythm that they're playing, and then it's rewriting all the timbral world around it. Yeah, so this is the input. Yeah, and this is the rewriting. Okay, what if I'm like, going through these different sonic worlds? So the strumming is constant. That's holding it together. And the other parts are being rewritten. Okay, so that was kind of a guitar experimentation. And the next one up, we wanted to think about what if so in the guitar example, there was kind of like 3 loopers. What if we had, multiple different agents that was scrubbing different recordings of music in a different way? So this piece is called 6x4. There's 6 different sections, and there's 4 different agents that take on different sonic material, and they're constantly recombining them to respond to the soloist. So the system is analyzing all the timbral aspects and all the kind of the pitch content of what the soloist is playing, and then retrieving these sound snippets in a way that responds to the soloist. So I'm going to play you a little excerpt, and then you also see kind of this animation that shows, kind of what are these different agents, kind of when do they come in, and how are they kind of synchronizing with the player. And some of the snippets are actually recordings of a favorite quote from the musician. Okay. So that was actually 3 pieces from a concert that we recently had. We had a lot of fun, and we are hoping this will be kind of a recurring theme, and we'll have a concert every semester, and different musicians will kind of find a different kind of resonance from their practice. So hoping maybe some of you will join us one of these semesters. So yeah, I'm coming to the very end of my talk here, and especially for this audience, I wanted to highlight this a piece of work by one of my PhD student, Nitya, who's herself Indian classical singer, and when she came to the graduate program, she really wanted to explore this question of a lot of times these systems right now, as you can see, are really yeah, trained to listen to and Western idioms. But in her kind of the practice, it's really the in-betweens, the pitch contours that are where the nuances are. So for example, if you're just singing a scale, there's so many ways to approach these different notes in a scale, and it's all of these kinds of kind of micro gestures that makes that's the building block to the music. So, so her attempt to get these models to really listen to this kind of rich gesture is to decompose these systems into these different parts. So first, for example, being able to like extract and through for example transcription, understanding, okay, what are these contours in a more symbolic form, and then rendering them into the spectrogram, and then rendering them into waveform. And that's what we're going to hear. So in some ways, yeah, these systems kind of work in these round trips. First sound comes in, we do this analysis, we really look at the pitch contours, and then say we're in the call and response relationship, she sings something and the system sings something back. The system first generates some pitch contour that's responding to her, and then it gets rendered into audio. So we'll hear here a very kind of short call and response. Yeah, so this is a little prompt, and then what I'm going to play you is that same thing, and then with a continuation. Yeah, so this is one example where we're trying to, yeah, really think about kind of melodically in a very different cultural tradition, how we might approach the modeling. And yeah, and we also have some new collaborations with one of our colleagues who is a saxophonist and has recently won the Best Latin Jazz Album. So with him, we're really exploring, yeah, these different rhythms coming from he in particular is from Puerto Rico. How do we really kind of have these systems listen to the kinds of complex rhythms, the modulation in meter, these different ratios, that's really interesting. How do we start kind of diving deeper there? And yeah, and we're super excited about everything you're doing here. And Sandra, one of my PhD students, have been working with some of you, and we're constantly learning about the different ways that you're wanting to have these systems listen and respond and really represent the nuances and the context that music happens. So yeah, in a way, we're starting a new program in music technology at MIT, and you're starting an amazing effort here in AI and African music. So I very much hope we'll be able to find many points of shared exploration and I look forward to meeting some of you in the future. And congratulations, everyone, on this really, really wonderful journey. There's a lot of tension, there's a lot to work out, and there's a lot of discovery along the way. And I think it's really interesting to really exchange these experiences as we go. Thank you all.
Yeah. Anna, thanks so much for that presentation and the overview of the really fascinating projects that you've been running at MIT. And I think what's particularly interesting is that close interaction that you're working with between musicians and the engineers, which of course resonates very, very much with what we're trying to do with the AI in African Music project. We do have some time, so would you take some questions from the audience here?
Oh yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. We've got the mic. Emmanuel's got the mic. We're going to kick off. This first question comes from Gift. He is himself a producer of very successful AI-driven dance tracks. I don't know if you're familiar with the genre of Amapiano. Gift has been a leader in applying AI to production of Amapiano tracks. And here's his question.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. I think it's really exciting what you do. I saw the Charles River there. I was there not so long ago, so you actually took me a bit back. My question is, and this was my frustration, is there's seem to be class research in institutions like MIT, where if you are perhaps not within that region, the only way to come there is for you to either come through a program, which again could be a bit costly. I think what I wanted to understand is from an African point of view, how have you, because I think what you're working on is really groundbreaking. How have you been looking at maybe collaborating with, entrepreneurs outside of, say, the US? Particularly in Africa, because we are in Africa, and if you have been, because we have entrepreneurs here that do really exciting things. I'm just wondering if you could also maybe share like some guidelines on how those collaborations usually go.
Yeah, I think being able to collaborate more globally, yeah, kind of across different different regions is really helpful. So, for example, yeah, we have been in the past couple years, we organized the AI Song Contest, which is an attempt to really bring communities together. So, as part of it, we would host different kind of satellite local sessions. Some of them are kind of take like a little hackathon form for people to, to kind of bring together engineers and musicians, and yeah, I really think the efforts that you're doing here with the AI in African music is really, in some ways, a role model for a lot of other groups to kind of ask the question of there's a lot of different local kind of needs that arise from different communities, and how can we take a more community-driven approach, which brings out, I think, more interesting questions and a lot of questions that otherwise would be overlooked. And yeah, and I'm so a lot of times in the academic community, for example, there's conferences that are organized at different cadence, and that is a chance for people to come together. And those conferences a lot of times rotate between different continents. And yeah, I very much hope that some as we grow as a community here in Johannesburg, that a lot of the conferences will you might be hosting, for example, the one that you're hosting right now, and there is an African in music information retrieval group, and one of my students is also she's working in Indian classical music, so there's an Indian classical music effort as well. So we're seeing more of these efforts happen, and I think it's very encouraging. And I myself, I'm originally from Hong Kong, so we're trying to start from some efforts in Hong Kong as well. So maybe all of these efforts, as we get to know each other, that we can really share these kind of insights and how to kind of bring community together.
Thank you, Anna. Got next question. Can you just introduce yourself before your question? Who are you? And then your question.
Oh, hello. Thank you for sharing your research and all that. My name is Uleboheng Mlangeni. I'm a master's student here at WITS doing music composition. Yeah. So I think it's cool what you're doing. It's super cool. So I have a question. I think it's more of like a experimentation idea question than it is about the context of AI and whatever else. So could you potentially build a model where you have like a predefined contour, so there's more sectional awareness in the AI, but then response to it as spontaneously, just as it was doing in your examples? Because I think it would be great if it could improvise with you, but then it knows how the song goes. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah. That's definitely kind of a composer's question. So with the 6x4, the piece that we had multiple agents and kind of these 6 different sections, that was something we were trying to do, which is you really have this kind of compositional plan ahead of time. And so different material is brought in different parts of the piece to kind of build that narrative. And I think it's really interesting to think about what might be pre-composed and what kind of structure and what configuration that takes on, and then what is improvised in real time, and what could be negotiated in real time. For example, maybe this time I wanted to take this turn and go to this other section as opposed to the pre-planned section. How much flexibility do I have there? And if I'm playing with a group of people, how do we do that? So I think these questions are super interesting, and I think a lot of times it allows us to, so actually Sandra, who has been working with some of the teams here, she's been thinking about this question of, can we observe how human musicians work with each other in a jam session, for example, in a free improv session, or with in other cases where it's a more structured improvisation. Can we look at how they propose ideas, how they kind of negotiate with each other and kind of make these transitions and then maybe settle into some stability? Can we learn from that human coordination process to design agents that can participate more in these responsive ways in a music ensemble where you have a mix of agents and musicians improvising together?
Anna, thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for Anna. Anna, we really appreciate
thank you so much, everyone.
Getting up so early to tell us about the very exciting work you're doing over there at MIT. And here's hoping we can find ways to collaborate and take this kind of work much, much further. So great what you're doing over there.
Thank you. And I hope next time I'll party with you all in the evening. So we have a morning and evening kind of a round trip. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye, Anna. Bye.